Every child in Africa has a traumatic experience.
He did not address it properly.
We don't value therapy in this part of the world. It's a case of lock it up, lock it up, lock it up.
One auntie or uncle did something to he or she, take it very seriously.
A lot of men do not want to tell their wife certain things because they don't trust that they know how to handle their feelings.
As it is the reason why most guys don't usually open up.
And they feel like, oh, guys have done this to me, I can do that to them.
Welcome to Brown Becoming again.
Nice to be here again.
You know, it's always good to have you here.
Glad to be.
Yeah. So this is a place where we uncover to discover, yeah? And we will be talking about the boy child today.
Okay.
How the society affects the boy child and the impact it has on the well-being of the boy child. So, sir, what do you have to tell us about this?
Society. Okay, so for starters, so I'm not necessarily an expert in the field, but of course, everybody, wherever you find yourself, you definitely have an idea of what is going on in your environment, either on a small scale, on a large scale. So I would, when you say boy child, I would speak specifically to those in this part of the world, right?
Yeah.
Nigeria, and I think largely even Africa as a whole. So the boy child, right? So I'm, like I said, I'm not necessarily an expert in the field of any of this whole, like the trained specialist or anything, but definitely in every area or environment where you find yourself in society, you definitely have to have an idea or a knowledge of what is going on around, right?
Yeah.
And so I would speak relatively and specifically to those of us in Nigeria here, and I still would even expand that to the boys at large in terms of Africa, right?
Okay.
And what I would say really is the boy child in Africa has a lot of traumatic experiences, very bad traumatic experiences, poor upbringing. We are shunned when we ask questions like why, or when you're curious about anything. There's this whole idea of how you should grow up as a child and the environment you are in and how our fathers bring us up.
Yeah.
And it really is not a way you should bring up a child, any boy, anywhere. And if you do compare, and not necessarily to say that, okay, but in reality, when you look at the Western culture, right, London and the US, there's the system around how they train their kids is very well different in contrast to how we train our own kids here. And it's very obvious, right, in how we think and how we see things. And so for us here, I remember when Apostle Aaron said one thing that every child in Africa has a bit of trauma, depending on, of course, there's like different scale and level. And it's I believe that to be very true, because it's either, if you don't even have it, that's like a 1 in a 99 chance. If you look around you, there are people that have traumatic experiences. And so it's always a case of, so when they grow up, you can imagine how a lot of people think, how the boy thinks, how when he's not a man, he still has this very funny way of thinking about life.
Talking about traumatic experiences, what do you think about rape to start with?
To start with, I mean, rape in and of itself is very wrong. I mean, it's like we all know, it's basically forcing yourself onto somebody else or the opposite sex, either the boy to the girl or the girl to the boy.
All right, do you think boys get raped?
Of course, but definitely. They get raped a lot.
Okay, because in this society these days, most children goes to their parents and say, "Mommy, daddy, sister, auntie this did this thing, auntie this did that," and most times the parents used to push them away. They don't listen, they don't pay attention till it becomes a big problem and mental issues for most of these kids. So what do you have to say to parents about this?
So one of the issues really is, it's this thing where our parents have this idea where the child always has no rationale, has no thinking capabilities, and doesn't understand what he or she is saying or what he is saying. So you're talking about the boy child, right? And so it's almost like when the child comes to meet the mom or the dad and says, "Oh, auntie, this did this, or sister, this did this to me," it's like, what do you know you're saying? I mean, what are you watching, or who's telling you all these things? Do you understand? And it's like, because again, this person you're talking about or referring to is someone that your parents know as a very maybe well-spoken of person, someone of like proper status in maybe the church or in the workplace. And so it's like, this one that we play with, this from Olomo, where are you learning rubbish from? And so what two out of a couple of things will happen most likely. You get spanked, beaten because you are spouting nonsense, right? Or you are pursued out of the room or shunned immediately because, of course, like I said, they don't think you have the capabilities to even think or know what it is you are saying. And again, it's like, how do you think, for a child to meet you and say somebody did this, again, at this point of a child, say under 5 years old, for a boy child, they do not, anything they say is basically what they see.
Yes.
And of course, they necessarily don't know the exact words to use, but they know exactly what has happened to them. So no child just comes and fabricates anything out of nothing. It makes no sense. A child doesn't just come and say, oh, daddy, somebody did this to me. They will tell you, if it's something they watch on TV, say, daddy, on TV I was watching Kinikon. Do you understand? Do you understand? I say, don't watch this anymore. So a child doesn't come and just spout nonsense. If a child is hungry, he is hungry. If he is thirsty, he is thirsty. And he can, even if he can't necessarily explain in words what he means, usually it's a case of dada or something, right? And so the idea that a child comes to you and says he has this and this has happened, and then you shut the child or beat the child out of the fact that he has no sense or idea of what he's saying, makes no sense. And then you take other people's ideas and what or the beliefs and ideas you have of other people over that of what your child is saying. And it really is a wrong way of bringing up the child.
All right, so what do you think is the long run effect on the child if rape issues is not addressed properly?
So you have a degrading society.
Okay.
A society full of menace.
Okay.
Vices of all kinds, and you would find women become a shadow of themselves. Because I have this idea that society really is formed from first the man and how the man places things in structure. Now, the result of good men is good women.
True.
And good children, and of course a better society, nation, and the continent as a whole. Now, the opposite of that is that you have a bad man, right? Then you have a bad woman, and then bad children who do not grow up properly, and of course the resulting effects all the way up to the continental level. And so this happens in the long term. It's a very negative effect. Now, it means that in how they relate with people, they now take the body parts of a woman as close to nothing. It makes no meaning. It has no value. It makes no sense. This is something that they were touching my own. They just touched it like a couple years and people play with it. So why should I have a problem fondling with you? So they sexualize everything. Every time you see a girl while growing up as a teenager, all you think about is how to have sex or how to play with their body parts. And then it's like, do you understand? Everything is now turned to like, it's a plaything. Anybody can have fun with it. And what is there anymore? There's no value to them. There's no essence to them. And so nobody treasures anything. And of course, when they go to ladies and they treat them in like manners of, you just use and go to the next person, use and go to the lady in turn feels like, she's just a thing people use and drop on the side. And that affects her self-esteem or how she relates to other guys. Or there's a repeated cycle where if a couple more guys do that to her, she tends to now retaliate, and then she wants to do her own back. And if like, guys have done this to me, I can do that to them. And you see how, and then it goes on to, let's say the guy eventually, this boy who has grown up to a man now, having caused all these dramas, right, in front of every lady. Because again, he values no woman anyway. And so if at all he even marries, it's a case of, we're marrying just for marrying sake so we can have kids. And then multiple women on the side. And then you have the cases where they can probably have like 2 or more wives or women, and maybe 1 wife or 2 wives. And
there's a case of somebody who was raped when he was really small. He did not address it properly, right?
How do you say he did not address properly? Like,
maybe he did not even address it at all.
What processes or systems are in place to help the boy child address these matters? Who do they meet to address their issues? We don't value therapy in this part of the world. There is no value on mental wellness. And so you find that a lot of times, what is really affecting everything on the long run is that the child that is growing up has nobody he can express his issues with or his thoughts to. There is no process. Do you understand? There's no process to air your issues out. It's a case of lock it up, lock it up, lock it up. And so he locks it up, he locks it up, he locks it up.
Piled up to
Do you
become a
understand?
big problem.
And of course, when it gets older, everything starts to come out. And see, the whole idea of, there's a large scale of this thing. But like I said, you can't say he didn't address it when, again, there's no system that has brought in such a way that when you have these issues, this is who you should go to, or that is who you should go to. Even the ones that are supposed to be the so-called parents or confidants are the ones that are doing these things to themselves. So,
sad truth. Hope you heard what he said. Well, like I was saying, this guy married his wife and he was objectifying this woman.
Yeah.
If they want to make love, let me not use if they want to make love, what he does is he gets different toys and different things, and he ends up beating her. He ends up doing different,
style.
all those kind of things.
50 Shades of Grey.
Right? And most time, he gets another woman to come. The woman will touch his wife, and then he will pleasure himself. Right? So,
this one doesn't get a man, he gets a woman.
He gets another woman.
This is okay. Since it has some level of jealousy and pride.
To pleasure himself. Right? So, this has been going on for years. Till the woman met her pastor or their pastor.
Yeah.
She now explained the whole situation to the man. And the pastor actually cancelled her. That leave this man. Yeah. Maybe deep down she thought the cancelling was wrong.
Okay.
Right? To be honest, for me, I can't tell you to leave your husband or not in situations like this. What I can tell you is you guys should come and see me if I'm your pastor. If you are willing to listen, I can counsel you guys together on how you can handle the situation, right? Though she didn't leave him, she did not convince him to meet the pastor for counseling. He did not go to another therapist that we know of, right? To a point where he wanted to pleasure himself. And she refused to do this particular thing.
Yeah.
He had to beat her. When he was done beating her, he went out, went to sleep with another woman, got the woman pregnant. Now, there's a child outside of the marriage, and then she's filing divorce papers right now. Currently, as we're speaking, this thing I'm talking to you, it's a recent thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, when the man started pleading, I'm sorry, I don't know what came over me, this and this. They started digging deep into the reason why. Why? I think he was the one that opened up to his wife that when he was small, the rape thing, the wife was not even aware.
Of course.
Right? So all this time she was wondering, why is my husband behaving like
so
this?
many issues already in place right now that I really want to address.
So you see that's a rape thing.
Yeah.
Look at the bigger problem
of it,
right? So
I mean, if you're going to go, there's so many things to unpack in this thing. Like I said, every child in Africa has a traumatic experience. And the major issue we have also in this country, aside the fact that, like I said, we don't value therapy and mental wellness of our people, it's that there is no data. And so because we don't have data that is in place to show us what is really going on in this part of the world, we don't know how serious a lot of these things are. I would not be shocked or surprised if, let's say, some years down the line, we finally are able to create a structure and a system in Africa where people always report cases and things like this. By the time you report or release data on the amount of sexual harassment, right, in this part of the world, the likes of the US can't even beat it. You see, the reason why we think the US is bad and everything is because we even see what is going on there. We hear of cases. But you see, the funny thing, people who are pedophiles, even on this side of the world, when they know that they are pedophiles and they have issues, they know who to go and meet in the government.
Well, here we don't even have.
If you tell them you are a pedophile, they will beat you. If you're not born, you are alive.
Yeah.
So now, this guy now is saying that, these are things that happened to him. Now, the case of, like you said, the pastor saying, leave the man. I agree with you on the fact that, rather than saying leave the man, bring everybody together and now have a talk, right? And then address the matter. And then, depending on how that conversation goes, you might now, the pastor at least at this point knows that this man needs serious therapy because, it's beyond it's not just naturally a spiritual thing, that it's more of like a thing that has to do with past wounds and all of that. And now, that wasn't done. Problem. Again, sadly enough, the woman didn't know what to do, like I said. And now, this is one of the issues with the men, right, is that we don't know how to communicate.
True.
Communication is almost like a disease.
Yes.
We don't know how to communicate and effectively communicate our feelings to the woman. Now, there are two things in play here. Number one, the man doesn't know how to communicate, number one, and doesn't know how to communicate his feelings. That's number two. Number three, the woman doesn't understand how to relate to those feelings or how to understand them and how to reply back to the man. And so most times, the case is that a lot of men do not want to tell their wives certain things, not because they don't trust them, but because they don't trust that they know how to handle their feelings.
Exactly.
Because the woman has not been trained to know how to handle the man's feelings. And so obviously, that's number one. Number two, he can't even communicate because again, there's an inability of the man himself to communicate what is really wrong with him. And there is the pride of how he was brought up, such that you can lock everything up and you don't see anything.
Be a man.
Do you understand? Lock it up, don't say anything, macho man, that's how, don't cry, nothing. But then it's a case of, I can't tell this woman my problems. I mean, I'm a man. I should be able to man up. What will she do? I will take care of myself and those kind of things. And it's like, we forget as men, that this woman you are married or getting married to is supposed to be your helper. And so it means that for you to join and make her your wife, you guys are coming together and she's supposed to help you as a person.
Yeah.
If you don't even see her as someone that can help you in these things, then what exactly do you marry her for? Just to give birth to kids? Now they are baby manufacturing businesses. Like, so again, like I said, these are the things that are the issue. Now, a woman doesn't know how to address these feelings or how to even respond to his feelings. And so most times that's why you have cases where guys say that, oh, if you go tell her what they worry you now, she no go know, she got they do like a baby or they cry, or they talk to matter aside. She feels them again, and it usually happens all the time. Because when Kasala boss now, I think go to talk like, see, you go say, see, because I told you. But the guy knows how to keep
the one
everything.
that they raped. You know, all this kind of thing. As it is the reason why most guys don't usually open up.
Yes, like now this is the problem. I keep asking myself, why don't we have women that are teaching other women? So why don't we have older married women that are educated in these things and have seen how these things plays out? Educate the younger women on how to better address men that have these issues, how to respond to them, how to react to them, when to stay quiet and when to provide help. And then the men themselves can teach our men how to communicate our feelings, understand that it is okay to cry when there are issues. How can fathers respond to the issues of the child and properly bring them up in such a way that they know how to go about issues pertaining to certain things in life? But then when we don't address these things, everybody just go, daddy wakes up in the morning, goes to work, come back, all his own is how I can bring money to the house and mind my business. Mommy's own too, of course, is how she will just beat them or whatever, and everybody's okay. And the mother, even though the mother loves her kids so much and wants to take care of them, she doesn't have the ability or the skills or the know-how on how to necessarily bring them up. So there's a lot of problems going on and gap.
Thank you so much for this. But what do you have to say to people that have this challenge already and how they can actually work on themselves? Nobody wish to be raped. I don't think anybody wish to be raped, right? But if you are a victim of rape, be it a male or a female, though we are focusing on male right now, because females, you guys have a lot of advocates, people advocating for you guys.
Not necessarily. You'd be shocked.
Good.
You'd be shocked.
But I just feel like they don't talk about the male gender.
But that's the thing. So even the female themselves, I had an experience with someone where this happened in school. And it's because it's very close. That's why I understand how serious it is. And the African woman, and this is the problem, there's this thing of the African man and the African woman. And it's a bad thing. It's like a plague. Any man that says he's an African or a true African man, run away from that person. I'm a true African woman, run away from that person. Maybe true African woman in the sense that, she knows how to stay in the marriage and suffer all kind of things, but then it's also a problem. Now, this is where you see this issue. Now, we're in my school here, and a lady has this issue where a guy is stalking her. And from time to time, there's a bit of like harassment where he touches her and she's like, I don't want you to touch me or anything, like, right? So he moved like, they were first liking each other, and then there are certain things that he did that she got disgusted by and said, I don't want to have anything to do with you anymore. But then he persists and he keeps talking. And then the matter got to me because I was the one in charge of my class. Sorry. And so what happens next? I talked to this guy. I'm from line of lawyers, right? My family is like a line of lawyers, so I kind of had an idea of how to draft
Okay.
these things. And so we draft a sheet like a list of instructions of where how things that he should not do. You should not approach her by social distance. You should not reach her out on social media. All of this, and he signed by himself. And now, moving forward, he kept doing these other weird things.
After
He
the
kept
agreement.
making. Now we said, okay, we didn't want to escalate it. But it got to a point we reached out to female lecturers. These are older women.
Yeah.
Do you know the reply we got?
What?
It was that, oh, that you're just being too dramatic. He's just liking you. You probably are the one that made him this way. He was probably, maybe he has given you money. He has done this, he has done that. Now you don't like it. You are not trying to blackmail him.
That is not enough reason for him to do
This is not just one person that did this. These were multiple women that she
different elderly women said it.
Yes.
Well, this is a serious problem.
So while you are saying, oh, they have advocates, they don't have advocates. So in the small community or area where they think that they have women that they can address, those ones start telling them, just look up, you're a woman, you should hold all those things, or your man don't like you, he's just liking you. You say that he's pressing.
Women, sorry,
he's
I
pressing
thought you guys had advocates.
He's pressing here, and I say, he's not pressing it, what is not there now? All of it. It's almost like a normalized thing. And so that's what you would call, like, that's your typical African woman mindset.
All right, so thank you so much. Hope you heard what our speaker said. Parents, I'm talking to you directly right now. Parents.
Even if you're not parents.
Even if you're not parents, if you have a younger one, right? A younger brother or sister that told you one auntie or uncle did something to he or she,
take it very serious.
Take it very seriously. Don't just push that person away. Don't shun he or her away. All right. Pay attention. Listen. Try to understand what this person is trying to communicate. Right. Because if you don't, you're just gonna leave them to die in silence. Right. And then moving forward, they'll become a menace, a big problem, bigger problem to the society.
And even to you. And at the end of the day, they start ignoring them and saying, oh, this is how we trained you up to be. This is, you left the child untrained. Yes. You did nothing. Ignored the child's feelings. If a child literally has no capability of communicating certain issues, you as a parent or someone who's older are the ones that can look at what is going on, see what the child is trying to do, and then by yourself, with your wisdom and intelligence, be able to decipher what is going on. And then for one, so let me give you a quick example so that parents or whoever is there can listen, understand. A woman starts a shop.
Yeah.
And so she didn't know, she started a pharmacy shop and she hired like some girls to help her, watch over it. And so, at the first point, before she hired them, she was doing okay in sales. Now she gets these ladies to come and work for her sales girls. And I found out that things were dropping. And she didn't understand what's going on. For months, she was wondering, why is my market going down? Is it juju village people? No one, she couldn't understand. It didn't make any sense. She would come and meet because this is what we sold, no problem. Now, one day, again, trying to understand what's going on and just use her intelligence, she comes to the shop one day. She sends somebody to buy something.
Okay.
Now, the person buys, because again, she didn't want to accuse them because these people she was thinking of them even in her own home. So it was like, this is a family now, come on. Now she sends someone to buy something. The person goes, buys this thing, exits the market. Now she now comes in, right? And like, oh, what did you sell today? The person mentioned this. And then she saw the account. But I sent this person to buy this thing. Where's the amount? Say, they started begging. Do you understand? So where you have issues where your child cannot communicate, your intelligence should be able to start working as an investigator.
Yeah.
What are the things that are going on? He said this thing, he said this thing. Of course, the child doesn't know what he's saying, but then you as the parents can now go further into it. And I can meet that auntie or that uncle he said, and then find a way to like, what times is he around? At what time is my child in school? And then just come once in a while and hit one, and then you will just see what you'll be amazed.
Just show up.
Use your brain and think, and don't ignore your child. The child doesn't come to the parents if what they have to say is not important, no matter how simple it is. Listen to them, understand them, and relate with them how you need to relate with them.
Very insightful. Very, 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 very insightful. Thank you very much.
A pleasure.
So, I hope you heard what he said. Don't ignore them. Pay attention. Become an investigator for your child. Right? Try to understand what's going on. Because if you don't, the child will become a big problem to the society and to you too. This is not just about rape. It can lead to drug addiction. It can lead
Abuse
to
of other women,
abuse of other women,
even other kids,
kids.
pedophilia.
I'm
These
telling
things,
you.
these things right from
Most people that sleep with children these days, they were abused.
as kids. So
Most
of course
them,
they feel like
yeah,
it's
as
right.
kids,
So,
yeah,
so they do the same thing. What's there?
Yeah, so they do the same thing.
Yes.
So you have to really take this seriously, all right? So thank you for joining us today. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this, all right? And we are glad you joined us today. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.